Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Please subscribe, guys. It really does help with the algorithm, and a thumbs up never hurts as well. Want to bring this to you this afternoon, this one coming from Michael at Val5Links. President Biden is building a coalition of 30 countries to address cybercrime, including illicit use of cryptocurrency. So the United States looking to crack down on all the negative aspects we associate with crypto. According to the statement released by the White House, Biden says the U.S. will join forces with 30 other countries, including allies from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, and a group of 7 G7 nations to counteract bad actors in the tech and digital assets space. So they say we are building a coalition of nations to advocate for and invest in trusted 5G technology and to better source our supply chains. And we are bringing the full strength of our capabilities to disrupt malicious cyber activity, including managing both the risk and opportunities of emerging technologies like quantum computing and artificial intelligence. So that's just a statement from the White House. Again, guys, I will leave this article in the description of the video if you are interested. All things that are speaking to, more cryptocurrency adoption and I suppose appreciation in some of these countries. We know this is the way we are going. And so, to plug up the holes, plug up the leaks, I guess this is where many of these G7 countries are at in terms of the regulatory approach. And in the United States, Coinbase is meeting with U.S. lawmakers to discuss their cryptocurrency regulatory proposal. So Coinbase is meeting members of Congress and crypto firms on regulatory framework for crypto. So also just speaking to this regulatory clarity in the U.S. specifically, Coinbase is on a mission to influence crypto regulation in the U.S. CEO Brian Armstrong tweeted on Thursday, "We've now met with 30 plus crypto firms, 25 members of Congress and or staff, 4 major law firms and 3 trade groups about our regulatory proposal for crypto." So they now have a proposal that they are putting forward. Armstrong first revealed that his company was preparing to draft regulatory framework to submit to lawmakers in an interview that he did back in September. He said that he expected to begin distributing the crypto regulatory proposal this month, which is October. The CEO revealed that he has been asked multiple times for the crypto regulatory framework proposals, as regulators often seek industry feedback when creating new rules. He shared during an interview, "When I went to go to DC, I've met with a number of people in government, and they typically will ask us, well, do you have a draft? Do you have a proposal of something? We could try to shop around about how this could be regulated federally." Armstrong noted that Coinbase is currently licensed as a money transmitter and lender in 50 states. He added that Coinbase operates under the purview of the FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and the Security and Exchange Commission, so the SEC as well, and Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, and the Treasury and the Office of the Foreign Assets Control, the OFAC. So they run under all these bodies. The Coinbase boss indicated that he prefers a federal framework instead of having to deal with independent state-by-state rules and agencies. And here's what he said: "We have a proposal that we actually want to put out there and could maybe help create at least one idea about how to move forward, but this is going to require input from a lot of people." So to reiterate, we are not there yet, but, we are getting closer and closer still. Coinbase, obviously very influential in the United States to help influence this cryptocurrency regulatory clarity. We've also got the Ripple SEC lawsuit, and I think the outcome of that is going to be important as well. And if information does come out in the Ripple SEC lawsuit about how corrupt the SEC's decisions were regarding Bitcoin and Ethereum vis-a-vis XRP, will they actually, or could they, hinder the adoption of Bitcoin and Ethereum, maintaining the rules that they say should be in place for XRP? Or could it be that XRP will be granted the same privileges as Bitcoin and Ethereum? John Deaton, always bringing up some interesting points. Now, he's retweeting out this tweet from XRPZ on Twitter, pointing this out, guys. This is from about a month ago, Digital Asset Buys video here with regards to the Hinman Ethereum free pass speech. I just want to play you guys some compiled information that really does hit John Deaton's point home here.
When we look at Bitcoin, or if we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense. So
there are 2 of them in existence right now, 2 of them that are sufficiently decentralized to be a base trust layer for applications for the planet, Ethereum and Bitcoin. In order to become a base trust layer, you need to issue a token broadly and equitably. You need to garner enough revenue so that you can build your project and continue to build it out, maintain it. You need to have a vibrant large and growing community. And this is something that Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't have to deal with. You need to be regulatorily compliant.
If you have a fully functional network and you go ahead and you issue a token in that context, those early tokens will always be security tokens. And again, notwithstanding what the speech said. And we're going, well, tokens are mutable. They can change. And that's what Bill Hinman said. And it's like, well, we don't really believe that.
So what is the answer, right? Can tokens change? Are we going with what Bill Hinman said or not? And so, it begs the question, where's XRP really going to land once this case is all said and done? Again, I could see two outcomes. Either Bitcoin and Ethereum get punished and everybody's on a level playing field, and so everybody's treated as a security. Well, maybe not Bitcoin, but definitely Ethereum. Or they ignore that. Obviously, they have a vested interest in Bitcoin and Ethereum succeeding. So now they have to open up the rules to XRP and other cryptocurrencies. I think the SEC have painted themselves in a corner. John Deaton here saying Bill Hinman stated there was no longer a third-party promoter related to Ether. If that was true, then why did they meet with Ether investors 4 to 5 times between December 2017 and June 8th, 2018? Very interesting observation there. So I will link this tweet thread in the description. I'll link this video as well in the description. Another thing I just wanted to point out, and I know this kind of seems maybe out of left field, but if the government's plan all along was to allow Bitcoin to succeed, maybe not from the beginning, but eventually as they saw Bitcoin grow in popularity over the last decade, then I think that this is important to point out as well. I know some people theorize that Bitcoin was created by the NSA, by the US government. And this is something that I just discovered recently. Fun fact, Bitcoin's hashing algorithm was designed and created by the NSA in 2001. And just a flowchart here to that effect coming from Mr. Whale at Crypto Whale on Twitter here. And back in June, he did actually put up a blog post, 5 reasons to believe the deep state or the NSA created Bitcoin. So if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, I will link it in the description for you guys to read further. But just, to kind of put the icing on the cake here, it makes sense that the government wants to allow Bitcoin to have a pass if they did indeed create it, right? Give it a narrative over the last decade, pretending like it was a currency for the common people, the rebels, to rebel against the traditional system. See how it panned out. And sure enough, it has been a success. Let's not forget, guys, and I just want to bring a little bit of context to this whole idea. Do you guys remember the Occupy Wall Street movement from back in 2011? So this was a movement in response to the bank bailouts, the crashing of the economy that we saw back in 2008, 2009. We are the 99%, essentially saying, the 1% of the wealth is not distributed equally. And so this, again, from 2011, leaderless protest movement targeting economic inequality starts in New York and quickly goes global in our number 6. So this is just an article from Al Jazeera from way back in 2011. The year 2011 witnessed 2 of the biggest mass movements in recent history, the Arab Awakening and the Occupy Wall Street movement. But while the Arab Awakening cut short the half-life of despotic rulers in the Middle East and North Africa, the Wall Street movement focused less on a leader and more on a global hegemony of multinational corporations and giant banks. The idea of Occupy Wall Street, the U.S. financial hub located in New York City, was first floated in July of 2011, but the people behind Adbusters, a counterculture magazine based in Vancouver, Canada, who called for peaceful action against corporate influence on democracy. The idea became a trending topic that went viral on Twitter and Facebook, and a buzzword for thousands who took to the streets across the world against what they called unfair wealth distribution and corporate political nexus. So this coincidentally coming about 2 years after Bitcoin's inception and directly after the financial crisis. It's interesting how all these things coincide. Now, some believe that some social political movements today, before the pandemic and during the pandemic, that some of these social movements, and I'm not going to name them, but I'm sure you guys can think of what they are, that some of these social movements could have been funded by people like George Soros and organizations associated with his ideology. The whole idea of let's open borders, let's globalize the world. This causing a bit of a distraction to what is really going on here. And so, I'm not going to get into all of that stuff. But for those of you guys that know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you can probably mention it in the comment section for others who may be a little confused. I bring up those points just because, this Occupy Wall Street movement did happen at a time, coincidentally, that Bitcoin was just kind of getting up off the ground. Now, we also know, obviously, just going back to this here, the idea that the government could have created Bitcoin. And again, I just found this blog post from Crypto Whale recently. I didn't know about this thing from before, but I just found this. So this is a great resource if you guys are interested. But just to that point too, David Schwartz, right, of Ripple, one of the original architects of the XRP ledger prior to joining Ripple, David Schwartz, was Chief Technical Officer for Webmaster Incorporated, a Santa Clara software developer. He developed encrypted cloud storage and enterprise messaging systems for organizations like CNN and the National Security Agency, also known as the NSA. So this is well documented. David Schwartz did have a contract with the NSA. David Schwartz was also an early developer on the Bitcoin blockchain. And so it really just does make you wonder, how interconnected are these things? And so when we fast forward back to today, Bitcoin in the spotlight obviously has a lot more clout than it did a decade ago. Well, now we're going to regulate it along with Ethereum. Of course, this has created more problems down the road because as cryptocurrency, as the industry has grown, more projects are now on the scene. A lot of them looking towards the SEC Ripple case for that clarity. So again, guys, I have to ask, what is the outcome going to be? Will leniency revolving around Bitcoin and Ethereum be pulled back a little in order to keep Ripple and XRP in their place? Or does the government now have a vested interest in Ethereum and Bitcoin? And so financially, that wouldn't make sense, which means perhaps XRP and other cryptocurrencies are going to receive a lot more leniency moving forward. It's just a theory, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.